Bradley Aidan Johnson here, and I just wanted to do a video on, I'm just going to rant basically, you know, I'm going to rant on some of the things that annoy me. But you may have noticed, if you've been a long subscriber with me, you may have noticed that across from like July to now, there's been sparse videos from me. And what kind of happened with me mostly was I just got frustrated, annoyed at the way in which people were treating this fitness thing. Like, to me, when I started, I didn't even know there was a YouTube fitness thing, or that it was a Twitter. I didn't use any social media. I didn't know anything about Instagram or Twitter. I just started training because I looked down one day and I just like, whoa, what's going on? I gotta start training. So anyways, as I started progressing, I realized there was this, you know, movement happening. People were training because it was in fashion or something. The idea of personal training being in fashion to me just seems strange, but you know, what do I know about what's cool? I'm old. So like, what started happening on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube is people just started talking about fitness for the sake of talking about fitness. On YouTube, they put comments just to show that they know something, not like they were actually trying to help someone. They just write something. They be like, because when you write, you're like, haha, see, I know that. I look so cool now. On Instagram, they post a picture of a meal they're eating, because then it'd be like, look at me. I'm so obsessed with fitness. I'm so cool and interesting now because I trained this morning. And it just got a bit, what? That's not what it's about. And then the memes started coming out, you know, things like, you know, squat deep, gotta drop it like a squat, and if the bar ain't bending, you're pretending. And it was just became, I don't know, it just seemed like everyone in the fitness industry turned their cap back to front and started saying, yo, homie. And it was like, whoa, this is not cool. You people are literally embarrassing caricatures of yourselves. And I just got annoyed at talking about it because you started getting the same questions, and they were all based on all these stupid memes. And most of them, you know, some of them are accurate, based in accuracy, but then they just got so ugly because of the way people's egos were being part of them. So one day I just sat down and I just started tapping my phone. I was tapping on my phone, tapping away, and I just wrote a list of everything in the whole fitness world that annoys me. Everything that annoys me. And some of them are myths that, like, you know, I should debunk that as a myth. Like, you say this and no, that's just not true. That's a myth. Like, things like, you know, you got to change your exercise to keep your body guessing. It's like, what? Like, where did you even come up with that? That's completely not true. And like, some of them are just things that are true. Like, you know, you've got to squat to parallel. That you hear so much that it's like, everyone knows this. Why are you bringing it up? You're just saying it to seem like someone that said something cool. So, you know, I'm gonna set a timer. Yeah, I'm gonna set a timer. Right. It's gonna be 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna go through. I got a list. I printed this off. I'm gonna go through as many as I can, foolish things that annoy me in the fitness world. You know, I'm just gonna go. Okay, cool. Timer's on or something. I think that's working. All right. If it fits your macros versus clean eating. This one just infuriates me. First of all, the idea of two separate people both doing the exact same thing to the exact same rules, at the end saying it's something different, and then argue that they're right over the other people being right when they're both doing identical things, is so retarded, I don't know where to begin. It's like a football match where everyone in the stand supports one team. But one team has a nickname they prefer for their team, the other team has a nickname they prefer for their team, and they keep both sides think that their team is winning over the other side, not realizing they're all wearing the same red jersey and supporting the same team. It's like, it's what infuriates me so much. Any clean eating person says, oh, I eat clean, I eat clean, I eat clean. What do they eat? They eat chicken and brown rice and broccoli and vegetables and all that stuff, and tuna and tilapia and all that stuff. And they try to avoid cheating. But they're human. If you think anyone talking about clean eating doesn't slip up sometime, has alcohol, has chocolate, and by the way, first of all, to define clean eating, I'm not even going to do it because I don't know how. It's basically the foods that look like, make you feel good when you eat them. When you eat them, you feel like you're doing something good for your body, regardless of the actual science. So they eat all these foods that are really clean and really good, and occasionally, sometimes they have something that's a treat. And they portion their food according to the effect that they want. So if they're eating clean and they've been eating clean for like a few weeks and they're putting on weight and they're trying to lose weight, they'll eat less, so they'll drop their portions. And so you've got these clean eating people eating less to get slimmer and eating more to bulk up. And then you've got the if it fits your macros guys that have set macro regimens, really strict, right? So they have to hit this much protein, this much fat, this much. And the only way to do it is by the majority, the massive bulk of their food, also price. You know, cleaner foods are cheaper. Everyone knows that. They're generally eating things like chicken and broccoli and brown rice and tilapia and stuff like that. But on occasion, if their macros allow them to, they will slip in foods that are considered cheap foods, like, you know, chocolate, pizza and stuff like that. And on occasion, eat those foods. Just like the clean eating people. So the clean eaters are eating clean generally, but slipping in when they cheat, occasional cheat foods. And if you're saying you're not, you're lying. And if it fits your macros, guys, are generally eating the things that the clean eaters are eating. If you don't say you are, you're lying. And on occasion having sweet foods. And they have less macros if they want to lose weight and more macros if they want to gain weight. It's the exact same thing. If you don't believe, if you're a clean eater and you actually don't believe in macros, sorry, you're an idiot. Trust me, whether you believe in macros or not, they believe in you. Anyway, then you got the if it fits your macros, bros going on like, yeah man, I'm eating donuts all the time, you're lying. You're generally not eating donuts. Don't act like donuts are the key foundation of your diet. You slip in a donut on occasion, but generally you're not having donuts as one of your staple foods. You're eating the same clean eating junk. It's just that you're throwing in cheats every now and again, the same as clean. So I just hate that. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way. You're both arguing over the same thing. You're wearing the same color jersey. You're supporting the same team. You're all for fitness and eating healthily. You just count, you don't even count them differently. You just count them in a different way and end up at the same numbers anyway. I'm done with that one. Next, ketogenic diets. Dropping your carbs real low, keeping your fat high because, you know, carbs are somehow mystically the enemy. Like, there's a certain macronutrient that somehow won't give you energy. News for you. If you eat less food, protein, carbs, fat, you will lose weight. That's it. If you have less calories, you will lose weight. Wherever you try to pick these calories from to trick your body into, oh, I'm so confused. What is he doing? He's feeding me fat. Oh, I never expected him to feed me fat. The only thing I can do now is burn all my fat. What? Like, the idea of tricking a millions of years of evolution, historically survival-based organism that has been procreating itself repeatedly over and over again for millions of years, and you think you're going to trick it because you read something in a newspaper one day, and now you're going to trick it into breaking its survival system that it's honed over the last X million years. That's absolutely ridiculous and arrogant. You can't, these things don't work. If you eat lots of fat but hardly any carbs, but your calories at the end of the day are low compared to your total daily energy expenditure, you're going to lose weight. If they're high, you're going to gain weight. There's no way of getting around it. Now, the different macronutrients have different thermogenic properties in the sense that they, gram for gram, they will give you less energy, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you will still feel, and I'm going with feel because it doesn't matter about counting calories because no one counts calories right anyway. That's another topic. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you'll still feel sluggish and like you were depleted, and your muscles will lose glycogen and your fat levels will go down if you're in a caloric deficit. And if you're a caloric surplus, you will feel full and bright and happier and more go-getter and put on weight, muscle and fat if you are in a caloric surplus. Did I say deficit before surplus? I'm not very sure. Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, I'll put a tag or something if I said it wrong the first time. However you portion these macronutrients, as long as you're hitting the base requirements, the effect is only negligibly able to be manipulated. And what happens if you start denying yourself carbs, your body's main energy source, you actually start screwing with the way in which your body does main functions, like, and I don't know, muscle protein synthesis or energy for exercise. We are still exercising, right? Or we're just too busy clean eating and telling everyone how clever we are because we've worked out how to eat certain types of fat. I eat coconut oil in the morning because this makes my body... You're an idiot. You're wrong. You're so wrong. If you feel like you're right about it, go for it. It's not really going to do that much harm, but no, it's just foolishness that you've created. It's just foolishness. And I don't want to hear it. I'm going to try a ketogenic diet because just shut up. I hate it. Okay, next, paleo. This is like, paleo should be in the dictionary right next to arbitrary, even though they're not even close in letter. Just arbitrary should be next to it. Like, the people that say paleo is a good idea were like, you know what? At some point in history, the cavemen, I think they had it right. Some form of cavemen were like, yeah, they're doing this right. They are eating in the right way. Even though we have not really got the best information as to how their diets were, what they did, how they looked, how healthy they were. And since we're not cavemen now, we must have sought some reason to evolve past them. So however they were doing it, it can't have been perfect. But put that to the side. We think that they're the best physique because our lives and energy expenditure and the way in which we do things and the way in which we access food is totally the same. Everything else is the same. It's just the fact that we now have Mars bars and things that, you know, you couldn't get as a caveman. So let's eat in the same way as the cavemen ate, because things like that we cultivate on things like farms, because cavemen didn't have farms, won't be good for us. Why? I don't understand. It's arbitrary. I just don't understand why. It's like me sitting down one day, I'm gonna come up with a diet. I'm gonna come up with a diet and be like, yeah, man. People in 1842, that's where it was at. Back in those days, they didn't have fridge freezers in the way that we have now. They weren't anywhere that efficient. They used to use salt to store their food. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna stop using my fridge. I'm gonna stop using my freezer. I'm gonna go and live in an older house, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put my iPhone down because they didn't have that in 1842. So I'm gonna live like them in order to be more like them, because I've just decided arbitrarily that they're the most healthy epitome of lifestyle and health, and it's just what? I just don't understand it. The idea that you're just gonna, for no reason, say that food is bad, this food is bad, this food is bad, but this food is good, and this food is good, for the purpose of just making life a little bit more difficult for the people that were already struggling with diet. Why not just tell them the truth? And the truth is, some foods are not really that convenient to losing weight, in the sense they're not very satisfying, yet they have a lot of calories, like sugar water. You can have sugar water, but it's gonna give you lots of calories. It's always about gaining weight. No one ever wants to go paleo to bulk or anything. Everything's about fat loss. If you have sugar water, you'll probably be fine, but you're gonna be taking calories and not filling up in your belly, so you're gonna want to eat more. So it's gonna be difficult to stay under a certain calorie level. That's the reality. Not just, oh, this is bad because, this is bad and we just like the idea of it being bad. It's Paleo's foolishness. Every time someone asks me about paleo, I just want to smack them in the mouth. I just want to smack them in the mouth. Sorry, man, I'm just going through these.